Hi boys, girls. In this video, I'm going to go over the answers to the surface area of cylinders assignment as well as the volume of cylinders assignment. All right. For the first one here, number one, a cylinder has a height of, so we're doing surface area. So formula is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. So we fill in what we know. We know the height of 11 and we know the radius of 2. So our formula is going to look like this. 2 times 3.14 times the radius squared is going to be 4. So 4 plus the 2 times 3.14 times the radius is 2 times the height is 11. So this boils down to this question and this question. So we just have to go ahead and multiply them both out. So this is going to give me 25.12 plus, and this will give me 138.16. So 138.16. From there, the only thing we're left to do is add them together. So I have 163.28, and that's going to be inches squared. All right, so again, this is just a matter of, we have the formula. You're always going to have that. We're going to just fill in the things that we know from the question, and we just do the math. So for number 2 here, a cylinder has a height of 20 and a radius of 3. So we have 2 times 3.14 times 9, because the radius is 3, radius squared is 9, plus 2 times 3.14 times the radius is 3 times the height is 20. All right, so again, we have this multiplication here and this over here. So this left side is 56.52 and the right side is 376.8. So 376.8, and then we add them together, we get 433.32 millimeters squared. All right. Number 3 is a hollow cylinder. So don't forget, think of like a paper towel roll, like an empty paper towel roll. We have the curved surface that we have to find the surface area of, but there's no circular bases. It's hollow. So if we look at our formula, 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h, we can get rid of this part because remember that the left side is for the circular bases. So pi r squared is for the area of a circle. We multiply that by 2 because normally in a cylinder we have a top and a bottom, but in this case we don't. We just have this part, so that's 2 times 3.14 times the radius of 6 times the height of 36. Grab a calculator, multiply that out. We get 1,356.48, and that's going to be millimeters squared. All right. For this one over here, this would be number 4. The formula below is used to find the area of a circle. So pi r squared finds us the area of a circle. And then over here, so circumference equals 2 pi r. That is the formula to find the circumference of a circle, but there's another formula that we can use. So remember, if the radius is always half the diameter. So if I take the radius and multiply it by 2, this 2r, that represents the diameter. So now the pi stays the same, so I'm left with pi d. So the circumference is equal to pi times diameter. That's going to be there. So that was the surface area of cylinders. And for the volume of cylinders, first one we have here, formula for this one is a little bit easier. Volume equals pi r squared times the height. So again, we're going to fill in the things that we know. Volume equals 3.14 times 4 times 11. Remember, this is a 4 because the radius is 2, and we have to square the radius. So that's when I multiply that all out, it's going to give me 138.16, and that's going to be centimeters cubed. All right, number 2 here. This is number 2. So we're looking for the volume. So volume equals pi r squared times the height. So volume is equal to 3.14 times 16 times 22. So again, our height's 22, our radius is 4, so 4 squared is 16. We multiply that all out, and we get 1,105.28. So 1,105.28, and that's going to be inches cubed. All right, moving along. Number 3, this is right here. What is the volume? We have a height of 14 and a diameter of 13. So keep in mind, so as you guys, we've been seeing, the formula includes the radius here. So here I've given you the diameter. So the only thing we have to do is take the diameter of 13 and divide it by 2, which gives me 6.5. So that means the radius equals 6.5, because the radius is always 1/2 of the diameter. So now we fill in what we know. So volume equals 3.14 times 42.25 times the height is 14. Now just keep in mind, I got this 42.45 when I did 6.5 squared. So now we're just doing this, just do the math here. We get 1,857.31. And that's going to be centimeters cubed. All right, next one, let's do this. Scroll down a little bit here. So we have let's do this. This one's number 4. So volume equals pi r squared times the height. This one's a little different in the sense that you know the volume and you know the radius. So the volume is 550 equals 3.14 times 16 times the height. I got 16 because the radius is 4 and 4 squared is 16. So from here, I'm going to multiply these together. I'm going to simplify that. So I have 550 is equal to 50.24, and we'll bring down this h. So now to get this h by itself, because we're looking, the question is saying what's the height? So I'm going to divide both sides by 50.24. So 50.24, I'm left with h is equal to about 10.9. All right, and the last one here, number 5, we have our formula: volume equals pi r squared times the height. Again, we fill in things we know. We know the volume, we know the height. So 880 equals 3.14 times radius squared times the height of 15. I multiply all this out, I get 880 is equal to 47.1 times r squared. Again, I want to get the r squared by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by 47.1. And I'm going to wind up with about 18.68. So 18.68 is equal to r squared. And from there, I want to know what the radius is, not r squared. So if I find the square root of r squared, that gives me r. All right. Now, since I found the square root of the right side, I got to find the square root of the left side. So the square root of 18.68, it's about 4.32. All right. So if anybody has any questions, please email me and ask. I'm happy to go over anything you guys need. All right.